Welcome, it's me, Kev, with Tarot with a Twist. And today I'm going to go over a question I saw on Reddit. And the question was, how do you stay disciplined when you feel behind in life? Right? So how do you keep that discipline intact? Okay. And I'm going to use Lenormand to show you how I would read that question. And it's a 5-line spread, and the center card is around the theme. Okay. And so when you think about that, right, how do you stay disciplined? Well, you have to go get it. You have to really all be searching for that new thing, right? That new piece of news, that new message that can kind of spark an interest again, or spark your creative side to engage. Remember, you're falling out of whack here, so you got to know how to stay disciplined. And that is how you do it as a theme, right? It's kind of like you're the writer here, right? This is you. This is the queer card. You have to go out there now and find it. You have to go and get the good messages that are going to help uplift you to keep you focused and on track. Now, I'll explain these dice up here in a minute, but quickly, these are called the houses, and you'll see why I'm doing that as well. Now, next we're going to do is we're going to read across the line. And so the only way you're going to get happiness or some type of enjoyment, the sun, is a 4, your stability, is to find it. That's the Cavalier, right? Keeps going, pointing back to that. And how you're going to talk with other people, you're going to communicate. 12, the birds. 3, communication, expansion, and growth. So if you want to have that good tidings type of vibe going on in your life where you can stay engaged and can stay in the mix, you have to then communicate with others to kind of see what's going on. And then those messages are going to open up. You'll be able to find it pretty easily because you're talking to the people who are in the now and kind of know what's going on, right? And then as you start looking, trying to find things, the lady comes up. Well, who's the lady? Well, I'm looking at this card more like a different aspect of you, but with the feminine energy, which means you're going to tap into your creative side, right? And that's an 11, 29. That means you got to tap into your intuition to really know what is good for you and what is bad for you. Because remember, you're on this weirdly weird ride where you're feeling that things ain't working out and you can't stay focused. So you got to tap intuition to make sure the direction you're heading is a correct one. And as long as you do that, then you have the anchor. You're going to have the stability that you've been seeking. You'll find it. And so the happiness for this comes from the stability you're going to find. Because once the anchor is dropped, it's not moving. So it's going to be something long term. And that's how you stay disciplined, by always seeking the good, always communicating with others, and using your creative energy to kind of explore and find things that are maybe outside your norm. You get to lock down and move forward and stay engaged and focused rather than always kind of drifting all over the place, right? And again, that's all because you took the active path of choosing to go out and find it. All right. And if you add all these cards up, you have the 31 and the 12 plus the 1, the 29 and the 35 already pre-added this 108, which is interesting because the 108 is an energy of a 1 and an 8. And the 1 is all around new things, right? Only way you can go and get new things if you go out and find them. Now, again, usually the Cavalier is about messages coming inbound or something like that, or, just good tidings, good news. But here, because you can't stay focused, you have to go find it. You have to keep yourself on track. So I'm reading it a little bit different than probably the typical Lenormand reader would. That's how I'm seeing it. And then the 8 is all about keeping things moving forward. And then the 8 plus the 1 is the 9, which means that's the only way you're going to achieve what you want and get that attainment out of life. The attainment and what? Staying disciplined, even though you feel a little bit out of sorts. Okay. Now the dice again align to the house. And so each card in Lenormand has a position. So this goes in 31, this goes in 12, this goes in 1, this goes in 29, this goes in 35. So here you're saying that the sun is all around the 1 position, the writer. So that good luck you're looking for that's coming your way is because you took action to go find it. 1. So you kind of marry these together, the house number and the card itself. The 2 is the clover. So with a little bit of luck, talking to other people, you're going to be able to expand and grow the 2. That's the second house, which is the clover. After the clover, you have the 3, which is the ship. And what's funny is the ship, I said you had to go out and get it. Well, what does a ship do? It moves. goes on a journey, travels. The messenger is moving, looking for good news. So it's a little bit different way of reading the card, but that's how I'm seeing the card, especially with the horse. Now in Lenormand, they don't really look at the position or the way a card is moving, but I always kind of do, you know, right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's how I read it. Everybody has their own way of reading it. But you see how he's moving into the future. So even though his face is looking forward, he's looking in the now, right now. The horse is galloping out of the frame to see what's ahead of them, to find that news, right? Good news is coming, right? Good news is coming into the future. It's always in the future because you can't have good news from yesterday. Good news is from today or for forward, you know, something that you're waiting on, expecting, something like that. And then here the lady is a 4. This I said was a creative energy, and the 4 is all around the house. And that's how you find your stability, right? That's how you find your protection. It's kind of tapping into that feminine energy that you normally wouldn't. You know, a lot of times, let's say you have more of a go-getter attitude and you're feeling stripped out because you can't stay disciplined. You can't stay disciplined. Well, you have to go and find your balance in your house, find the stability. So that's what it means by when I said the feminine energy, and this is a 4 in that house, okay? The house position. And then the last card is the anchor, which is the 5, and that's the tree, okay? And then once you find what you're looking for, 5 is tree, stability. You then find your confidence to no longer lose focus and stay disciplined. So that's kind of how I would read a quick Lenormand line of 5 cards on a question like that. Now, we could also go a little deeper and read the same thing with tarot. So let's just do that, see what comes up with it. And I'm going to use a typical Rider-Waite. I'm not going to use the Marseille here. Okay, so we're going to the tarot here to see how we can keep our focus when we really don't feel like doing that. All right, so let's cut the cards and go. All right, so with tarot, instead of 5 lines, we're going to do a line of 3 cards, and we're going to use it positionally, okay? So the theme on how to do this, the theme on how to keep your focus when things ain't really working out the way you want them to, how to stay disciplined and so forth, is what? Don't get caught up in all the noise, right? So when you see the 8 of Wands, it's all about things coming at you pretty fast and hard. Don't get caught up in that because you're going to lose focus. It's going to distract you from your core intention, is that of staying disciplined when you don't feel like you want to. So when you feel like you don't want to be disciplined, what do? You want to go and maybe browse the web, go and out and party. It's a little different than this vibe where you're communicating with people to find something. This is more like saying ignore the noise, okay? And then what was going to stop you from ignoring the noise? This center card usually for me is the blocker or the thing to be mindful of, right? Is it you feel like you haven't done enough, that there's still more there emotionally. And so you're just not really ready to let go, to be disciplined. So whatever it is that keeps drawing you in, you don't want to let it go yet because you're just not ready for it. Because you're still emotionally attached to something. And it could be that noise. Maybe it's friends, maybe it's parties, maybe it's who knows what it is, but something's kind of keeping you back. And what's funny, that's an 8 also, which equals a 16. And so when I read tarot, I always look at the numbers. So the 8 and 8 is 16, and that is a 7, which means you have to kind of really observe what you're doing if you want to break free from a cycle that's going to hold you back. If you're trying to break free from getting caught up in the noise, all right? And then the advice would be right here. And so you're seeing that, how do I stay disciplined when I'm feeling I'm behind in life? The last card is the 5 of Cups, another cup card, interesting. And it's telling you that you have to basically mourn it and move over and get on with it, right? Stop getting stuck in your emotions. And see here you have 3 cups knocked over. So it's almost like, well, I feel that because, I'm reading the question here real quick, I feel that I can't have growth because I feel like everything's kind of falling apart on me. But you're not noticing the 2 cups right behind you. They're saying you have to decide the state you want to be in. Do you want to be in a state of sorrow, or do you want to be in a state of being content? Be in a state of where I can look at my options so I can move past all this and be okay. That's only something you can decide for yourself. But that's the Five of Cups. Emotional card, heavy card, sadness, right? You got to move over beyond that, get over the sadness. So you move to the six to have the harmony. But you have to choose to do, but you have to choose you're ready to go because only you can make the decision, nobody else. It's almost like saying you have to just be ready to mourn the loss, and just let it go. Don't get caught up in those past feelings. Just move forward and let go. Because remember, you went from the 4 to the 5, and see also the numbers are going from 8 to 5, so it's becoming less emotionally for you. So you know that it's time to go, time to move forward in order to keep yourself disciplined when things just seem like they're kind of falling apart. Anyway, that's a quick little tutorial I have for you today. If you enjoyed that, let me know. Drop it in the comments. And that's all I got. I'll see you again. All right. Bye, everybody.